Hello, friends, and welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Tom Downey. There is no 49ers football today. We're going to take care of you and some updates on San Francisco, fresh off a Thursday night win. First up, George Kittle, who was injured in that game against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the good news is the 49ers believe this injury is a minor one. They do not anticipate Kittle missing significant time. In fact, the team feels pretty optimistic that Kittle will be able to play next week against Seattle. Having an injury occur on a Thursday actually does provide some extra time for rehab and recovery. Now, if Kittle cannot go, Ross Dwelley, who played pretty well, frankly, in Kittle's absence late against the Cardinals, would be next man up. Levine Toilolo would be after that. Daniel Helms on the practice squad. I think you might just see San Francisco try to roll with two tight ends if Kittle can't go. But again, I feel pretty good that Kittle will be out there. I also feel pretty good when I got George Kittle in my FanDuel lineups. You can get on it as well. FanDuel.com/chatsports. It'll get you $20 free with your initial $20 deposit. That's FanDuel.com/chatsports. Had success also playing Tevin Coleman, who didn't help me at all against Arizona, but for the most part this year, he's been good when he's been actually on the field. Get in on the action at FanDuel, especially if your fantasy team's not doing all that well. It's FanDuel.com/chatsports. All right, the noted hot take machine, Stephen A. Smith, basically is claiming that Jimmy Garoppolo is overrated and that, it's the defense and the run game that's carrying Garoppolo. He shouldn't get any of the credit. Which, I'm not taking anything away from this defense and the ground game. It has been incredible, and they've certainly made life easier on Jimmy Garoppolo. But Garoppolo has done exactly what has been asked of him so far this year. And against the against the Arizona Cardinals, he was great. It's almost like if you let Jimmy Garoppolo, or are forced to have Jimmy Garoppolo, throw the football around, good things tend to happen. 20-37. Almost a perfect pass rating, 4 touchdowns. He was stupid good against Arizona. And I know maybe some of the numbers this year aren't that great. He's on pace for less than 4,000 passing yards, has a less than 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. But a reminder, the Niners haven't asked Garoppolo to do a ton this year. They haven't needed Jimmy Garoppolo to really drastically change and drastically make impact. However, Garoppolo has been a franchise quarterback for San Francisco. Most importantly, the dude's 16-2 as a starter. I mean, at that point, how can you not? I don't like quarterback wins as a stat, but when you're 16-2, I think you can make the argument that quarterback wins matter for a quarterback being good. Jimmy Garoppolo has been good for San Francisco. I'm not saying he's top 5, but he's been clutch. When the Niners have needed plays from him, guess what? He's made those plays. I am typing in Y for yes. I have confidence in Garoppolo. Helps. I liked him a lot coming out of Eastern Illinois. But the idea that Garoppolo is not getting any credit doesn't really make sense to me. He has done exactly what the Niners have asked him to do, and that's been good so far. What more do you want from your quarterback if he does what he asks you to do? I just don't get the argument against him. Next up, Nick Bosa. Credit to the Niners for making sure they tanked down the stretch last year because their defense, it's paying off for him with Nick Bosa. He is certainly in the mix for defensive MVP. Now, I don't know if Bosa's going to win defensive MVP. It is a pretty crowded race for that award, but Bosa has earned discussion about it. Now, make no mistake, he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. If he doesn't, we got to have some discussions because that doesn't really make any sense if Devin Bush, who I like a lot, Nick Bosa should be the winner of that award. Now, NFL.com put together their list. They polled some of their writers and some players mixed in there, former players in there. Their rankings, Stephon Gilmore had 11 votes there. He led the way. Myles, Garrett had 4. Devin, McCourty had 3. And then Nick Bosa, Bobby Wagner both had 2. And he's putting up elite numbers this year. At 21 tackles, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. He's been a force against the pass and the run. A ton of pressures as well. I don't know if Bosa's going to win defensive MVP. If I had to pick one way or the other and bet, I'm not so confident that Bosa would actually win that award. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code 49ers. It's just 49ers for a 120% deposit bonus. What that means is you put down $50, they're going to give you 64 free. I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking about Super Bowl for San Francisco, and understandably so. So I have an idea. What if you just use that bonus money you got and put it all on San Francisco to win the Super Bowl? The odds are still pretty darn good there. You'll make a ton of money if San Francisco keeps up this impressive play and wins the Super Bowl. So again, that's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code 49ers for a 120% deposit bonus. All right, another note here on injuries. This one more unfortunate. Kwon Alexander, as I'm sure many of you have heard, he is out for the year with a torn pectoral muscle. That's a pretty big blow for San Francisco. Now, we'll get into some guys who could take him or take his place in terms of the on-field snaps, the starter, if you will. But watch out for Elijah Lee, who I know many of you guys know from his time last year with San Francisco, on the practice squad right now. I think it makes a lot of sense for Elijah Lee, once Kwon's officially placed on IR, to be promoted to the active roster. I think that makes a lot of sense there. Now, with Alexander out for the year, how worried are you? What is your panic level on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Alexander's not even that good, which is obviously not the case. 10 being you're freaking out, the Niners are going to lose every game the rest of the year, which is also not the case. So let me know, scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about the loss of Alexander? I'm going to put it somewhere in that 3 to 4 range. I am a little bit worried about the Niners linebacker depth. I love Fred Warner. I tend to play 2 linebackers. Not quite sure who steps up in Alexander's absence. All right, one guy who could be the answer is Dre Greenlaw, the rookie out of Arkansas, 5th-round pick. Has played a little bit this year. With Alexander out, I think Greenlaw is first in line to step up and replace him. Now, Greenlaw has played plenty of strong side linebacker this season. He's done okay. I don't trust him in coverage, and that's the big concern, right? The Niners will need more from Dre Greenlaw in coverage this year if it's going to work out, especially with other options available at the linebacker position. Now, I like what Greenlaw brings. Has to step up a little bit more. So this is where things sit right now with the 49ers linebacker. I pulled Kwon Alexander off there because he's out for the year. There's no purpose to keep him on there and keep him on that depth chart. Fred Warner is going to play almost every snap at linebacker for San Francisco. I like him a lot. He's their number 1 guy, especially with Alexander out. And in base packages, you can even see some shifting here. Maybe you want to keep Greenlaw at the Sam position, and then Alshire can play some weak side in base. Where things get tricky and dicey, though, is in nickel packages. You're going to keep Fred Warner out there. Mark Nizoch is a special teams guy. The Niners need somebody else out there. Is it going to be Dre Greenlaw? Is it going to be Alshire? Or maybe you promote Elijah Lee and give him some run if those first 2 guys, Alshire and Greenlaw, aren't playing all that well. I think it's at least a discussion worth having. So who should start next to Fred Warner in nickel packages? Let me know in the comments section who you're thinking. And I have an idea for you too. What if it's not a linebacker? What if, and I don't know if this is the best idea, but I'm just throwing it out there as an option, what if you throw Tart in there at linebacker? So you almost run like a not quite big nickel, but I guess big dime, for lack of a better term there. 1 linebacker, and you throw out 3 safeties. You can play Travarius Moore and Jimmy Ward. I don't necessarily love Ward in the Tart mold, but if you're trying to help with some coverage issues, which I have some concerns there about Dre Greenlaw, I think that could make a lot of sense for San Francisco if you want to use Tart as really a true linebacker. Maybe you could utilize extra cornerback at safety too. Antoine Exum has kind of played some corner or some safety before as well. It's just an idea out there. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Also, everyone, make sure you subscribe to us here on the 49ers Report. We are almost at the 10K mark. We're growing every day here. We'll put Thomas Mont back onto, I promise. I'm just in for today. It's youtube.com/49ers TV. Go subscribe here. Hook us up, and we'll do some fun stuff for you once we get to 10K as well.